Thanks for joining us. This is Nerds with Mikes. I'm Justin.
And I'm Travis.
Travis, I don't know. I'm not feeling this one.
Yeah, I don't really know if I can record this episode, to be honest with you. I'm just really missing Maxwell.
I know his absence is taking a toll
I think
on the show.
Yeah, I think he went down to Miami. I think he's doing something down there. I think he moved down there.
Miami, Florida? What?
What is that?
Mr. 305. Oh! Mr. Worldwide.
Is that Maxwell?
Is it Pitbull?
He must have Pitbull syndrome. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
sorry guys. It's me. It's Maxwell. I moved down to Miami and now I got a lot of white suits and my shirt unbuttoned all the time and I can't help it.
Did you shave your head?
Well, shave my head, my chest, just a goatee now.
Oh, man. That was my worst fear when you were moving down there, is that you would become one of those Pitbull people. Well, I hear there's also big things in there. I didn't just find out. I just realized, I'd say maybe a month ago, that Flo Rida's name comes from separating the word Florida. I had no idea.
Are you serious?
I had no idea. I
wow.
never put two and two together. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like that other rapper, North Carolina.
I don't think
No,
that.
there's no rapper named that. No.
That joke did not land. No.
I totally was bought in. I was like, who is this rapper and where can I find his music? So, welcome everyone. So, this is episode 5, right?
Yeah.
Is this like your second episode, Maxwell?
I feel like it.
Nah, I think it's maybe your third.
Third one?
Yeah, third.
Yeah.
So, welcome back though. How's everything going down in Florida?
It's good, man. And speaking of Flo Rida, he's got like a show. It seems like every other week. I'm like hearing him on the radio. They're like some music festival. Like it's always going on for different occasions, and he's always here singing stuff. So it's
They have
crazy.
Flo Rida festivals. That sounds terrible.
Well, he just shows up for whatever festival. But
Oh man, well that's terrible. Well, I'm so glad that you're back to join us, and we don't have to put up with that girl Emily from last week again. She's the worst.
Oh, man.
No, actually, we really appreciate her coming on, but glad to have you back nevertheless. So, and it's great
I'm
to
glad
know
to be
that.
back.
Yeah, it's great to know that you actually haven't been sent up in space yet. I don't know when the timeline is for that. So, they may have found out since you're now a Pitbull fan, you will not be going to the International Space Station.
that's right. Yeah, they cut the budget for me.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, all right. So, what now, Maxwell? I know that obviously for the past month you have been doing nothing but working and training on your days off. So, this question may not appeal to you, and you could be perfectly honest. But Justin, we'll go ahead and start with you on what have you been playing this week.
That's a good question. Not a whole lot. I did play some Uncharted, and I think that's really it, just Uncharted. Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
I'm boring.
Yeah, well, I also have been playing Uncharted, but I actually beat it a couple nights ago.
Really?
Yes, and it was everything I wanted it to be.
Really?
Yeah, and honestly, at the end of the game, there is kind of
Spoiler alert.
No, it's
Okay,
not,
good.
I'm not going to give it away, but when you think the game ends, after, I want to say maybe it's after the credits or maybe before the credits, you get to play through kind of a
Crash Bandicoot.
no
Again.
Actually, you do get to play
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot again, but you also get to play a different character you don't play throughout the whole game. It's really interesting. So I suggest you beat it.
I'm going to try.
But yeah, I was totally surprised by the ending because you and I both kind of talked about how we felt that this person or that person may die, and I was actually surprised by the outcome. It wasn't what I expected. So, but yeah, it's definitely worth playing if you're an Uncharted fan for sure. I also gave my my first hand at online in Uncharted, and actually, surprisingly, I couldn't imagine Uncharted being a really good multiplayer game, but actually, it's surprisingly really good.
Yeah, they're great. I played 2 and 3, and then I played the open beta for 4, and they're so much fun.
Yeah, and one of the things that really surprised me about the game, and I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but when you go into settings after you beat the game, I guess you're accruing some form of currency throughout the game to be able to unlock secret things.
Oh, nice.
And there's a section under settings. I think it's called bonus, but there is like I want to say 20 or 25 different like filters that you can apply to the game. You can even play the whole game as an 8-bit game.
Oh my gosh.
Or there's like vignette, or there's all sorts of different little filters that you can do. But there's also obviously like cheats where you can unlock different weapons. But some of the other things that I thought was interesting is you can turn on like no gravity. So when you jump, yeah, so it's really strange. And then they also have like slow mo, and then they also have like bullet time. So it really allows you to go through and play the game a different way than what you would have played it, the first time through.
Yeah.
So,
Because I have not played the full game multiplayer yet. Can you have like custom lobbies, or is it all just matchmaking? Because if you could have custom lobbies and enable some of those settings, that would be a lot of fun.
I know that you can do. So I just did the find match, but there was an option to actually do like to create like a private match.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can apply any of those settings.
That would be awesome.
It would be if they had servers that were unranked that you could just do all that
yeah.
stuff for fun. That would be really cool. So now Maxwell, have you been playing anything, or have you just been too busy?
On the flights, actually, for training, I was playing my old Game Boy Micro.
You still have like physically? You still have that?
Yeah, it's the one I got when I was in Japan, and I didn't charge it since 2006, and I've used it on 3 different occasions since then, plus 2 trips since I moved down this year on the plane, and it's never had to recharge it.
That's insane.
That's incredible.
I know,
gosh.
it's ridiculous. But I've been playing Metroid Fusion.
Well, that's a fantastic game.
Finally beat that, yeah. So
Good.
makes me want more of those games.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the Game Boy Micro in the last month has gotten more use than the PlayStation Vita.
Well, what's sad is I actually believe that. Well, and one of the things I wanted to mention to you, Maxwell, because I don't think you got to this part in the last episode, but there was a game that Emily, aka Mystique Siren, brought up last week that I thought about you. There's a game coming out called Recore. I don't know if you've looked it up, but it's actually from the main man behind Mega Man, and also from the makers of Metroid. This game called Recore is coming out, and it's basically a side-scrolling. It's like an action shooter, but you get to put like you have a robotic dog that has like an orb inside of it, and you're able to take that orb out and put it into other mechanical things that help you progress through the stages and stuff. So I thought that was a game that you would find interesting, because I know you're a fan of Mega Man and Metroid. So
yeah, that's right up my alley. Now, is that a side-scrolling game, or is it? The photos look like it's
I think it's
third person.
I think it's a third person. I want to say it's a third person 3D like side scroller, kind of like those Trine games where they're not. I don't know. It may be fully 3D. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. But anyways, I just thought I'd tell you about that, because at this point, Mighty Number 9 is never going to come out. So I've kind of given up on that game. So, so let's get into one of the things that I want to talk about. Now, Justin still has not seen Captain America.
No, I have not.
Still, have you seen any movies, like, ever?
No, not recently, no.
Okay. And I kind of talked about on the last episode about my thoughts on Captain America, but Maxwell, since you're on the show, I would like to get your thoughts on how you like Captain America. You don't have to give us a full-fledged review, but just kind of your thoughts about it, because there's an interesting thing that we kind of want to bring up around the the box office. So what's your thoughts on Captain America?
Well, I went and it was like jam-packed. It was either the day of or the next day that it came out, but it was a Saturday. So I remember being surprised at how well it was put together. Nothing felt like rushed. They jam-packed a lot of people in there, but it didn't feel like forced. Honestly, I thought they did a really good job of, I guess, the composure of it.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I took away from the movie, was that, I mean, if you think about this movie had more people in it than what Avengers had. And I was afraid that they weren't going to do a great job of balancing the characters. And I thought that everybody had, equal screen time, I think, and as far as importance in the movie. There was a couple things that at first I didn't get, like Hawkeye comes out of nowhere and he's just Team Cap, but I guess, that's because he owed a debt to her, to what's-her-face's brother. I can't remember her name now. Scarlet Witch, to her brother, since he saved him in the last Avengers movie. So I guess that kind of explains why. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I thought as many characters as was in it, it could have went all over the place, but they did a good job of kind of reeling it in. So, did you not think though that did you not want to see towards the end of the movie though, them fighting all those Winter Soldiers? Do you think like maybe they built that up to nothing?
Yeah, that part was a little disappointing, honestly. But at the same time, I like that when movies are directing you towards something and then it just completely changes, like throws you off, like a little twist. Especially if it's taking stuff that's in a comic or some kind of story that's already been told before, and then making it unique.
Well, if I can ask, are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Oh God,
If you had to choose,
that's
What are you?
that's
I'm
tough.
I'm Team Cap all the way.
Yeah, I think I have to be.
I mean, America. I mean, you're neither because you haven't seen the movie. So
I've seen the Iron Man and the Captain America movies, and based on that, I have an opinion.
okay. Well, what's your opinion?
I can't stand Iron Man,
Oh, okay.
the character. So yeah, Team Cap.
Okay. Well, fair enough. All right. Well, Justin, you want to talk? Actually, yeah. So, what's one of the things that you've seen recently about Captain America in the news, Justin?
Okay, so generally when a big movie comes out, Star Wars or a superhero movie, they dominate the top spot at the box office for several weeks, and Captain America only made it 2 weeks at number one, and it was dethroned this week by a big movie. I think you were looking forward to it. I think you saw it, didn't you?
I might have seen it. I don't really know.
Yeah, Maxwell, did you see this movie? You know what we're going to talk about, right? It's based on a very popular video game.
Yeah.
Angry Birds, the movie, beat Captain America.
Oh man.
That just is mind blowing. Like I know children's movies do well, but that well? I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I mean, typically the first month the movie's out, it usually dominates the box office. It is really surprising
Yeah.
to see that this movie has, outpaced that in week 3. But
And Angry Birds. Like I've seen little to no promotion for this movie.
right. I mean, but if you think about how big the video game has began, I mean, it's pretty much on
Every phone.
any device
Yeah.
you could pick up, Xbox, PlayStation, computer. I mean, anything that you could play a game on, this game is on. Also, the fact that there's so many kids following this game, that's probably obviously the majority of the movie, right?
Yeah.
But then again, like,
When I was a kid, though, I was a fan of superheroes and not birds. I mean, not that I hate birds, but I just, if it came down to seeing a superhero movie or a bird movie, I was going to see a
right,
superhero movie.
right. And the thing is, though, is like me personally, like when I went to see Captain America, I seen it again like within the first I seen it twice when the first week it was out. So I think a lot of people that are going to see that movie are going to see it multiple times within the first probably 2 weeks, and I don't know if maybe that's why we've seen such a drop off, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So you had some interesting news about a show that I am unfamiliar with
Oh, man.
called Fargo. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie, but I've never seen the show.
Have you seen Fargo, Maxwell, the show?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's not a sequel or anything to the movie. It's its own thing, but it kind of has like the same tone, But they just finished up their second season a few months ago, and they're casting for season 3. And they always get these big stars to join the season. It's like a mini series. Each season has its own story. It kind of wraps up real nicely. Then they do another season.
It's kind of like True Detectives in that fashion, I guess.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a good comparison, except better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fargo's second season was phenomenal. But anyway, Ewan McGregor just signed on for season 3, and what makes his signing so interesting is he's playing 2 roles. He's playing brothers. Apparently, one's really successful and everything, and the other one is, I think they said he's going to be fat and bald and unsuccessful. So I can't really wait to see Ewan McGregor in this show.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I could watch Ewan McGregor in anything. He's been in several roles. Like, I loved Big Fish.
Oh, yeah.
I've obviously loved him in Star Wars. He was also in that movie, I can't remember the name of it, with Jim Carrey where they play gay lovers.
Oh, Philip Morris.
Yeah, that movie was even really good.
Yeah.
About anything that he does fantastic in.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's going to be able to play 2 different characters in the same it kind of reminds me when Eddie Murphy used to play all these different characters in the Nutty Professor
Yeah.
movies. But
You just lumped Fargo in with the Nutty Professor.
if it could be done, I'll do it. But Hugh McGregor's also in a new movie coming out where he's like just wandering through a desert. I can't remember the name of it, but it looks really super interesting. But if you say that Fargo is super good, I will have to watch it, especially now that Hugh McGregor's on board. So.
Yeah, definitely check it out. The first season, it had Billy Bob Thornton and Martin Freeman.
Oh, okay.
And the second season had Kirsten Dunst and Patrick Wilson, the guy from The Conjuring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
What network is this on?
FX.
Oh,
It's really good.
A really good cast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Both seasons have had just amazing casts, and it's just a really, really good show.
Well, maybe Maxwell and I will watch, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really more excited about something that's near and dear to all of our hearts and all of our childhood hearts. Maxwell, do you want to tell me what we're talking about?
My childhood heart? Yes.
Yeah, you talked to. I mean, if anything was worth crying over a cardboard box van full of animal crackers, it would be what you're about to talk about. Am I right?
Yeah, you remembered.
Of course I did.
Yeah, so June 3rd, we got the new Ninja Turtle movie with, what is it, Out of the Shadows. And what's cool about this one is it's pulling up, like you're saying, those stuff that's kind of pulling on our childhood heartstrings. Here's my thoughts on it. So there's a lot of people. On one site, he is listed as Super Shredder versus Shredder, so I don't know what's going to happen there. You get Baxter Stockman, who we all know well as being like the guy that turns into the Fly, right?
Correct, and that's
played by Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I've seen that. That is pretty...
Hopefully he brings some Medea into it.
Oh, Medea goes to Manhattan.
Yeah. Out of the ooze with Medea.
That's right.
We got Bebop and Rocksteady. Casey Jones and Krang is going to be in it. So this is like a full-on like season of the cartoon in one movie.
Yeah, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because I know that I don't think you or Justin watched the show, but it has the guy that plays Arrow as Casey Jones, Stephen Amell, and I just love him as an actor, and I'm really excited for him to be in the Casey Jones role because that's one of my favorite characters as well. So. Oh,
I didn't realize. Yeah, I haven't watched Arrow, so.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is this the new Transformers 4 where there's just so much going on that by the end of it you're like, okay, is it over yet? It's 3.5 hours and you're just tired.
Yeah. It could be one of those things where there's several different storylines going on, and it could be one of those things if they don't do a good enough job of keeping the pace, it may just seem all over the place at once. But I mean, I think with the last Ninja Turtles movie, for what it was, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a terrible movie. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm kind of excited for this, especially. I just hope they do Crane right. You know what I mean? Because that character will be hard to do on screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, especially because I think you see Crane out of his body, just kind of like crawling around with his little arms and stuff. It's real weird. So
yeah.
But I'm curious. I'm curious if, because none of the trailers that I've seen, I'm curious if Baxter Stockman, which is obviously played by Tyler Perry, if he is going to get turned into the Fly in this movie at some point. Because if he is, they haven't shown it in any of the previews, which I would be surprised if they do. So that would be exciting.
Well, maybe they're doing it right and not throwing everything into the previews.
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. So, and I don't remember, is Will Arnett's character Vermin, was he in the cartoon shows, or is this just a character that was created just for the movies? Because I don't remember him.
Vernon something. I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah, because I don't remember him from the cartoons or anything like that. But yeah, man, if they do, do you not feel like the Shredder in the last movie was already Super Shredder? I mean, he was basically a Transformer. So I don't know what exactly Super Shredder is going to be in this movie. Maybe he'll shoot lasers out of his eyes. I don't know.
Maybe he already was. Yeah. I don't know.
Now, Justin, you haven't really said much. Are you a fan of Turtles or what?
Oh, yeah, back in the day, but I wasn't a big fan of the last movie.
And you know what's not got good reviews? And this isn't even in the notes, but I want to talk about it. So there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game that came out called I want to say it's Turtles in Manhattan or something in Manhattan, but it has not been received very well. It's pretty terrible from everything that I've read and seen.
Yeah.
So don't go buy that game unless you get it for free, because evidently it's garbage. So, and now Maxwell, I don't know which has more of a special place in your heart, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Aliens.
The series probably Ninja Turtles, but based on what's out now,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be Aliens. So here's the new thing coming up. Now this is a little different because we have the title of this movie is Alien: Covenant, but it's
Did you just say colon?
He did.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I see what you
it's
mean.
not in the title. Yeah, no,
It's about
But
the
it's-
alien's digestive tract.
like you've never seen it before. But
Gross.
Alien Covenant is actually a follow up to Prometheus.
Okay.
But you wouldn't know that based on the title. You'd think Alien as in Aliens, Ripley, and all that stuff. Now, some things that are coming up with that movie. It's not going to be out until next year. But the main character from Prometheus, I'm not sure how to say her name, Nomi Rapace.
Mhm.
She and Michael Fassbender, if you remember, left the planet to go hunt down basically the engineer's planet. Well, in this movie, she's not in it, and it's taking place just 10 years after Prometheus, as far as the timeline goes. But her character's not in it whatsoever. And then, what do we have? So Michael Fassbender is going to be David again. So he's the only person to reprise a role.
He's the android,
Um,
right? Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I assume he got his head put back on his body. But this is going to take place on the engineer's planet. And there's some leaked photos out there right now where it shows like a
Terrifying.
bunch of it's like the creepiest thing. There's a bunch of like burnt bodies all over the planet and stuff. Now, one of the people that was in actually Angry Birds movie, one of the voices, Danny McBride, is going to be one of
what?
the,
Kenny
yeah,
Powers.
he's going to be one of the crew members on the ship, the Covenant.
Oh man.
I
So
don't.
he's obviously usually like a comedy guy, right? He was
Raunchy too. He's extremely vulgar.
Yeah, remember Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I remember
So is
him.
he just going to be
Yeah.
like
Oh man.
that same kind of character? I've never seen him in a serious role. So
What was the? So you had mentioned I can't remember, but Michael Fassbender's character David, and who was the other girl that left the planet? What was her name?
her real name's like Naomi Rapace. I can't remember the character name.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking on IMDb, and there's Catherine Watterson. That's going to be Daniels. I don't know if that is anybody. It was from the first movie, but yeah.
That's new character. Everybody's a new character except
Man,
for
I wonder.
David.
I wonder how they're going to explain that. I'm sure they'll tie it in on what happened to her. I would assume.
Yeah.
So
But on top of that, this movie has to come first, and then I don't know what year it will come out, but they are working on an Alien 5. And this is where I'm getting actually more excited because it will have Sigourney Weaver in it. It will have the guy that played oh gosh, I can't remember their names.
Uh oh.
Aliens 2, basically oh my goodness.
It's all that partying with Pitbull that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy that she leaves the planet with on Aliens, and then the little girl Newt, they're going to be in this movie as well. So they kind of have pushed Alien 3 and Resurrection to like a different, like a parallel universe kind of deal. And they're just kind of skipping those and just taking part after Aliens. So that's honestly what all the fans have always wanted, to see those stories go. I know they have several books that have gone that route. But it'll be really, really exciting to see how that goes with the original actors. And it's Neil Blomkamp? Camp?
Yep.
Whatever. The guy that did District 9
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Elysium. And we
Both.
won't talk about Chappie.
Yeah. I was gonna say both those two movies are really good. Chappie is questionable, but yeah, no, that's really exciting because the fact that Sigourney Weaver is gonna be reprising her role as Ripley in Aliens 5 will be pretty sweet. I think. Justin, have you seen any of the Aliens movies at all?
Years ago. I'm not a huge fan. But yeah.
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 Didn't she say that Maxwell, I think you read the article that she was not a fan of the Aliens versus Predator movies or something like that. Sigourney Weaver, I think she had said that she was not a fan of those movies at all. She thought they were terrible. Or did I just?
Honestly, you don't remember.
Oh well.
It sounds familiar.
Well, I read it, and that's what she said. Understand?
Well, she's a smart woman. Those movies are crap.
Yeah. So, now speaking, I know we talked about Captain America earlier.
Yeah.
There's been some news with Disney and Netflix, right, Justin?
Yeah, so they came to an agreement. So generally, when a movie is out of theaters and on home media, it goes to like HBO or Stars or something like that. Disney and Netflix made a deal that Netflix will be the holder of all of these movies. Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars. So any movie that's under that umbrella that comes out in 2016 and beyond will go to Netflix and will bypass the paid channels like HBO and Cinemax and Stars. So that doesn't apply to Force Awakens. It actually already has a deal with Stars, but it does apply to Captain America.
Any of the new ones coming out.
Yeah, Rogue One, and then you also have your Zootopias and Finding Dory's and stuff like that. Doctor Strange, but all of these movies now will go just to Netflix, kind of eliminating the need for HBO.
Well, that's pretty big news, honestly.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, that's a huge move on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is gradually just. I mean, we all know that it's a force, except for Maxwell because he Hulu and commits. But
yeah,
for those of us who still Netflix and chill, this is a big deal because, they are producing quality television similar to HBO, but now they've secured the rights to one of the largest makers of movies in the world.
Well, I think it only makes sense. Netflix has been the home for a lot of these original Marvel series. You have, you have Daredevil, you have Jessica Jones.
When are we gonna get a Star Wars series?
I don't know, but that would be sweet if they
needs to happen.
If they did a Star Wars series between movies, it'd be kind of legit. That makes sense. I think it's awesome the fact that they're doing that. Now, of course, a lot of people are probably going to bicker that don't have Netflix and they want to be able to watch those movies, and those are the only ways they can do it, even if they already have HBO and stuff. So.
Yeah, or data caps.
Yeah, like me, I have all the data caps. Maxwell, you got data cap down there?
That's a good question.
You probably don't.
Right, find out before we surpass it.
You probably got amazing internet down there. I don't want to hear it. So, at least you don't have Frontier anymore, so that DSL.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's I can actually see the frame rates in the shows I watch now.
That's fantastic. So now
on the Disney thing, is that going to be like old stuff as well?
They may eventually grab, some of the older. Some of the older stuff's on there now.
Because look, if I can't get the cartoon Robin Hood, then I don't want any of it.
It might be on there. They have old Disney animated movies on there, but this deal just secures all future movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I bet you they won't have rights to the ones that are still in the vault.
No. So I'll catch Captain America when it's on Netflix.
Yeah, before it goes in the vault.
Yeah.
So, but so enough about Disney.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Disney,
enough about it. But let's talk some more.
No, has anybody seen Zootopia? I just watched it last night and it was pretty good.
We actually.
I love that.
It's
so good.
We're thinking about going Friday to the drive-in to see it.
Have you not seen it at all?
No.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we're gonna take Owen and go to the drive-in.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I was surprised how much I liked it. I liked it being a 32-year-old man. It's good. So Game of Thrones.
Hide your kids.
Yeah,
hide your wife.
Well, you're going to after this next section. Talk about Game of Thrones. Nobody here. See, I wish Emily was here because she could have Game of Thrones conversations with me.
Yeah.
But I have to carry this alone.
So you were right, though.
Well,
spoiler alert.
I was 95% right. So
yeah, because I specifically, you remember you mentioned that theory.
I did mention it on the last episode.
We speak it, and it happens.
Yeah, that the character in the show. Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers.
For anybody that hasn't watched Game of Thrones or is caught up, go catch up or fast forward and then come back and listen to this. But yeah, I spoke about a theory that I was reading about how Hodor, the character in Game of Thrones that is responsible for defending and getting Bran around, one of the Stark children, and we had said that I was saying that his name is short for Hold the Door, in an episode the last episode of Game of Thrones, it turned out that he had, in order for Bran, there was some stuff that happened, and that in order to keep Bran alive, Hodor had to hold the door in order for Bran to escape, and by doing so, he sacrificed himself. So they confirmed
Oh man.
that his name was short because he was being basically like mind controlled, and he was actually being mind controlled from the past, and by doing so, they were telling him to hold the door, but it basically broke his mind, and all he kept repeating to himself throughout his whole life was hold the door. So they handicapped him basically his entire life for that one purpose at the end of the episode. So it was a sad episode. And then also one of the dire wolves named Summer, she sacrificed herself as well.
Oh, wow.
You guys don't care. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, it does affect me though, because my Facebook newsfeed is nothing but memes
yeah.
with like door stoppers or I don't know.
Or elevator buttons that say "hold door" and with a picture of him beside of it. Yeah.
The creators of the show, they actually apologized for all of the memes that it has spawned.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, I almost didn't go into work the next day because I was so upset.
Man.
Yeah, I almost called off.
Yep.
So, but enough with that sad news.
Yep.
Let's talk about good news, Justin.
What would that be, Travis?
Well, maybe some news possibly from a little company called Rockstar. You may have heard of them.
The energy drink?
No, not the energy drink.
The maker of games.
Yeah, the maker of games.
So it's been rumored, that Red Dead 2 is going to come out, which would be great. And there's a little bit of fuel to that fire because a few months ago, Red Dead Redemption was accidentally made backwards compatible for like a day or two. But supposedly, according to insider sources, Rockstar will announce a new game at E3 this year, and many people think it's going to be Grand Theft Auto 6 or Red Dead 2. Since we just got GTA 5, which I know we didn't just get it, but we've had it for a while. But
they'll continue to update it like they have been.
Yeah, it's still fresh, but I think it'll be Red Dead 2.
I mean, I am perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Maxwell, did you play Red Dead at all?
I think
That's
probably about 45 minutes worth.
As I say,
That's it?
It's the Western Grand Theft Auto if you haven't played it.
Right. No, it was fantastic. I just never purchased it.
Oh, well, you'll be getting 2 if you ever play games ever again. If you have the time to do so.
One day.
One day, I long for a day to play games.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting news. I mean, I'm really starting to think that this is gonna be one of the best E3s we've had in a long time by a lot of the rumors and stuff that's kind of coming around. Maybe one day we'll be popular enough where we can go to E3. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason we couldn't go this year is to get a press pass. You have to be in existence for like 6 months.
Oh, well, we're going to get there for you guys, and we're going to do things. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Rockstar, I actually went back and started playing Grand Theft Auto 5 again last night because I have not beat that game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the big reason is when it first came out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, there was basically a glitch in the game.
You told me about this.
That if you didn't choose a certain thing after a mission, that it broke your game, that you could not complete the next mission. And by that time, the Xbox One and PS4 was coming out, and I didn't get to beat it. And then it came finally out on the new consoles, and I've not actually just went back and tried to beat it. So yeah. That's the next thing I'm going to beat.
I don't know why, but I felt like this game went, I don't know if it is shorter, but I feel like it was shorter or it just went by quicker. I beat it so fast, and I don't know if it's just because maybe I'm switching characters and it feels like, I don't know, but I don't know. I beat it very quickly.
Well, the big thing with that game is the online community. I mean, I know that a bunch of us play Grand Theft Auto 5 for the longest time. Even Maxwell played Grand Theft Auto 5 for a while.
Yeah, I think that's one of the 2 games I've ever played in the last 10 years.
that and Battlefield 4, right?
That's right.
Which, I'm so glad we're on the show, and this is completely off of our notes, but since you're here, I haven't got to get your thoughts on it because I haven't talked to you in a month. What is your thoughts on Battlefield 1 going back to World War I?
That's a good question.
Did you even know that was a thing? Did you even know that was a thing?
Yeah, no. I'm honest. I saw the trailer. I'm really excited about it. I think we don't need to go into the future anymore, right?
Yeah, I seen that, and I was just thinking, how excited how excited I am for a change of pace. In the trailer, I mean, obviously, once I see gameplay and there's a beta and all that stuff, I'll be more excited about it. But I'm not upset at all that it's going away from the present time. I think it's a welcome change. One of my favorite games was Call of Duty World at War, especially when they introduced zombies. Like, I loved that game. Yeah. And then once they got past, present, and way into the future, I just stopped caring about those games. So, it's going to be interesting, I think, at a holiday season, because there's a lot of games coming out and a lot of direct competitor games like that coming out too. So, but I just want to get your thoughts if you're kind of excited, because I have a feeling that'll be a game that you'll pick up, because you get a lot out of Battlefield games, I think.
Yeah, I think I've gotten every one since Bad Company.
Yeah, they need to come out with a new Bad Company is what they need to come out with. I love those games.
I'm wondering how the mod system will work in this new Battlefield, though. So, somebody made a joke. I think we saw it in our same chat where somebody had the horse. Like, you could mod the horse, and you could put new shoes and then just funny stuff on it. But it was all just.
But my question is, will we get jetpacks in this game in the past?
How else are you gonna get out of the trenches?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. The fact that this game is going to be focused around trench warfare and stuff. Yeah. Because that was a brutal time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I hope they're able to capture that in game and they don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, moving on. Sorry about that. Went off on a tangent. Let's get into some Xbox news, Justin.
Okay, let's do that. So it's not a huge deal. It's just kind of cool. But so this past week, Xbox released a bunch of inactive gamer tags that were claimed, and I got one. So I'm pretty happy about it. But there were some issues. Some gamer tags were released and they're still not available for whatever reason. But this is kind of a cool thing that that they freed up gamer tags from 10 plus years ago that some guy bought and then I don't know, maybe died, and it's just nice that it's available. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I wish Sony would do that.
Yeah,
I wish Sony would let you change your name.
Do they not? They have to.
Mm-mm.
No, you just have to create a new account.
Yep.
Wow, that's crappy.
Unless it's changed in the last year. So I tried to change mine and it wasn't available.
Let me ask Maxwell how much he even cares about an Xbox gamer tag.
What were you talking about?
I said I wanted to ask you. Well,
I know what you said.
That was kind of
that
the perfect.
Was
that was your answer. I got it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you care none at all. Yeah. The only reason I would even care is for some odd reason when I was transferring from the regular Xbox to Xbox 360, for some odd reason I got locked out of my account. And that was before obviously your games were tied to your gamer tag where they would save to the cloud and all that. And I didn't bother even figuring it out. I just created a new one. So I you did show me that my original one is available.
It is available.
But I have so much stuff invested in this new one that I just can't go back.
Yeah.
Why did you go back? You just wanted to...
I never had this one. I just always wanted it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's why I had to have that X at the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dumb X.
Dumb X. Well,
yeah, stupid letter.
Yeah, don't be giving it out on the
I'm not
podcast.
Going to.
You might have a lot of hate mail.
Yeah. I'm so hated.
Yeah. So some other Microsoft news is because we've been hearing a lot of rumors about Sony coming out with a new PlayStation, a 4K enabled PlayStation, PlayStation 4.5, PlayStation Neo, whatever you want to call it. There is now news that Microsoft is in production of possibly 2 different Xbox consoles.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And one of them is set to possibly be revealed at E3 in 2016 this year.
Wow.
Possibly one of the new ones is going to be 40% slimmer than the current Xbox, which...
Does that make it 40% less crap?
Jeez.
I hope.
Let's mute him for a little bit.
Yeah. And you know what? And I don't know, Justin, you may have an opinion of this, but so as the PlayStation progressed, with the exception of obviously when you went from PS2 to PS3, the console got substantially bigger and then it eventually got smaller.
Yeah.
And then when you went from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, it was a fairly slim console. But when you go from 360 to Xbox One...
Oh, my God, it's huge.
It's like a VCR.
It looks like that suitcase over there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But so the fact that it's taken them this long to make a slimmer console, just amazes me. I feel like it should have been slimmer, is at least as thin as a 360.
Yeah, I agree.
But I guess not. But yeah, so 40% slimmer. A big deal is going to be a 2 terabyte hard drive, possibly. I will say one of the things I do like about the Xbox One is that you can actually just plug an external hard drive into the Xbox to get external storage.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the PlayStation is you can upgrade the internal storage, which is nice. But I wish that you kind of had both flexibilities. So that might be one thing that they may possibly add. Who knows?
Yeah, the external storage where it's USB 3.0, it actually is a lot faster than the internal storage.
Yeah,
Boot times are a lot better.
Which just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Right. So, but and then the second console that may be in production, codenamed Scorpio, it will actually supposedly have a more powerful GPU and technically capable of supporting the Oculus Rift, which I know is something that you just recently picked up, right?
Yep.
So, what do you think? What do you think about the rumors of a new Xbox? Do you think it's something that's probably for sure going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that and the PlayStation is going to happen. The Oculus thing, it's been kind of rumored for a little bit where they partnered with just having the controller ship with the Oculus, but I don't. It would be nice, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I mean, it's okay. I'm not going to buy a new console just because it's smaller because I've already cleared out, a shelf for
A whole shelf.
Yeah, a whole shelf for the current one. If it has a more powerful GPU, I'm sure there'll be games that will take advantage of that, and then I may upgrade. I'm not going to upgrade for something slimmer, but I may upgrade for that.
So I'm thinking more powerful. Obviously, if it is going to support the Rift, that's one of the reasons. But also, kind of like what the PlayStation is doing, is now 4K support for video games, which 4K is.
I don't have a 4K TV, so it's hard for me to get excited about that. Like I know you do, so that's a selling point for you. For me, I wouldn't run out today, but if I had a 4K TV, then it might interest me.
Now, Maxwell, is any of this enough to make you want to buy an Xbox?
Nope. But I will say it seems interesting that we're getting to that point with technology or just high demand from the consumers. Because if both of these companies just released a console around the same time, the new generation, and they're now going on to basically like a 0.5 model.
Yeah.
So is this like the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6S? Like it's the same, but better, so people will go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Are they taking like a note from people like Apple?
Well, I think that's possible. I see it as being very, very similar to the model that Nintendo uses for their DSs. So you had like the DS, then you had the 3DS, then you had the new 3DS, which came with a little joystick and more powerful hardware. So, I'm starting to think that, is the life of a console now only 3 to 4 years instead of the traditional 6 to 8 that we're used to seeing getting out of a console life? Or is consoles going to get to the point where they're like PCs, where you'll just literally just start upgrading the hardware that's inside of your machine instead of just having to buy a whole new one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that'd be great. It just doesn't seem like financially that they would want to do that.
See, I was thinking that too, but at the same time, every 2 years we turn around and spend $300 and $400 on a new phone. So I mean, technically we do it already because we're cheap.
If they can get to the point where consoles are more like modular, where they're very easy to swap out components, like I think that could be huge because they could say, "Oh, you want a new processor? Here it is."
Well, that's the rumor. That was the rumor for the new Xbox, that it was going to be kind of just upgradable. So if that happens, that's a pretty big deal.
Well, I know that. I mean, obviously, it's probably no shock to anybody that I was a 360 fan through and through, and then when I went to the new consoles, I switched to being more of a PS4 person instead of an Xbox One. The Windows 8 interface and just the console itself just totally just turned me. I wouldn't say turned me against Xbox, but it was less appealing to me because I didn't feel like I wanted the Xbox One to take over my living room. I just wanted it to be a really good gaming console.
Yeah.
Whereas the PlayStation,
they've kind of shied away from that.
Yeah, and the PlayStation to me out of the gate was just geared more just for gaming, and everything else kind of was secondary.
Yeah.
So I think that Microsoft is trying to play catch up a little bit because for months and months and months, the PlayStation has outsold the Xbox One and continues to do so. So I think they need to switch up something in order for them to kind of to stay relevant. I mean, there's always going to be Xbox people because I find people that play Call of Duty mostly play on Xbox. Now with Xbox being more of a PlayStation title from branding standpoint, I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen. So, and then one of the other thing in Microsoft news is also being rumored is they're working on streaming boxes similar to. Was that a cat?
Is that your diabetic cat?
No, it was Luna. She's not a fan of being held.
Oh, well, I was going to say I didn't notice diabetic socks on that one, so I didn't think it was. So, speaking of which, how's that situation working out?
It is what it is. It's working.
It is what it is, and it ain't what it
Slowly
ain't.
but surely.
Is she on a
Yeah.
carb count?
Yeah.
On that
Pretty
Atkins
much.
diet, yeah. So.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But yeah, Microsoft is working on streaming boxes. They're going to be, I guess, there's going to be two different types, similar to there's going to be maybe two different types of Xbox Ones. One is going to be more like a Google Chromecast or an Amazon Fire Stick. And then the other supposedly is going to have those features, but also have additional features. Something similar to maybe like a Steam Link, where you're able to put them in a different room and be able to stream your Xbox games from one room to another TV that maybe you don't have an Xbox hooked up to, which I think would be kind of reminds me of the PlayStation TV model.
Yeah.
PlayStation TV model didn't really work that great in my opinion, so maybe it's something that they'll be able to do much better.
Yeah. The whole stream boxes though kind of it reminded me that a few months ago on Reddit, Reddit went nuts over this. Steam registered a subdomain. It was xbox.steampower.com, and it was right before an Xbox event too, and nothing happened. Like nothing was announced. But I wonder if maybe the Xbox will be used as a stream box for Steam. That seems like extreme wishful thinking, but it'd be neat.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is wishful thinking. I mean, seeing how both of those are direct competitors.
Yeah.
But, if it could be, because, see, obviously we know that Microsoft is trying to become more of a universal platform between if you buy a game on Xbox, you also get it, on PC. We kind of seen that with...
People get mad about that.
Yeah, we've seen that with Quantum Break, right? And to be fair, I mean, a PC is Microsoft Windows, and then you have the Xbox, which runs, the Xbox OS, and they're both owned by the same company. So theoretically, you would think it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
However, with developers, it's going to be a big deal because obviously they don't want to cut their sales in half. If you have somebody that wants to play with friends on PC and then also wants to play with friends on Xbox, developers are going to want them to have to buy that game twice because you're cutting into their shares at that point. So
Remember, Portal did this.
It
Portal
did.
2
Oh.
came out, and if you bought it for your console, you got a free copy for Mac or Windows,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
So-
that was only for PlayStation.
which
though,
is
I
even
think.
more interesting. Yeah,
And crossplay was also enabled, I think, where you could play with people on Steam and you on your PlayStation.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm almost wondering if this relationship with Steam is because Microsoft realized that they're not going to be able to make it a unified system where if you buy it on one, you get the other. But if they allow you to stream your Steam library through your Xbox, maybe that's a way kind of to appease, PC players.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like an engineer or anything, but I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be that much of a technological feat to accomplish that. I think it's just a matter of, hey, we're going to put our stuff on your console.
Well, not really. I mean, because I think it would be simple because you have the Steam box.
Yeah.
Like, what are they? The Steam Links, I think.
Steam Link, yeah.
You have a Steam Link box that's already designed to do that.
You just have to put the software on the Xbox
Yeah,
as the
so-
form of an app.
Yeah. So
So
theoretically,
here's my thing for you. Both of you have gaming computers?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And you play like Call of Duty or something?
No.
I
I
hardly.
mean, any kind of any first-person shooter.
Well, yeah, I do sometimes. Oh, yeah, I
Okay.
get what you're saying now.
So you have the advantage of the mouse
Mhm.
and
Well-
like how accurate your shots are versus somebody with a controller.
That's another thing too, though. Is
That
Microsoft
would be
is supposed to?
such unfair. Plus, especially if you can like remap. I know in Call of Duty, like World at War, you could remap the mouse keys, so you could just have a single shot gun, but you could remap the scroll wheel,
So
and you could just flick
scroll-
your scroll wheel and be like, brat.
Oh yeah.
Well, I do know like mouse and keyboard support is actually something that's supposed to come to Xbox. I don't know how that's going to work. There's already a device you can get that makes your Xbox think that you're using a controller, but it's actually a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Maxwell. That's something I really wouldn't have thought of. But also to that, like what Justin said about bringing keyboard and mouse support to the Xbox, that kind of lines up more with maybe what they're trying to do
Yeah.
with Steam. Because if you're going to stream
Maybe.
Steam games to your TV, you may still want to play with a mouse and keyboard. So those things could go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
The
it's
other thing that, sorry,
no. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just keep on going.
Yeah, that's fine.
When not only are we talking about like the differences of controls and stuff, but with a PC, the fact that you can upgrade all those parts, you're constantly like speeding up the GPU and all that stuff. So it's not really a fair battle for somebody that can get the frame rates out and all the details and graphics and resolution that you wouldn't be able to get on a console.
Right. Yeah, and that's a great point. So I think it's going to be interesting E3 for sure. It's going to be interesting to see what everybody kind of brings to the table. I'm curious if Microsoft is going to obviously announce this console like the rumors have, and then also I'm kind of curious because a lot of the rumors are saying that this supposedly new PlayStation is possibly going to be ready for a fall release. So it's going to be an interesting year this year at E3.
It's going to be a huge E3. I think it's going to be one of the best.
And what's going to be interesting is that this is going to be one of the bigger years, I think, at E3 for VR. I mean, because now that a lot of these units are going to be out because the Oculus is out and the Vive is out pretty soon, or is it out now?
Vive's out, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what developers are going to be bringing to show off those, those as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. So.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Oculus, Justin, I know that you've obviously picked one up.
Yeah, I did.
I have not had a chance to play it. Maxwell, have you got a chance to play with Oculus or VR or anything like that?
Not even a little bit.
Well,
unfortunately.
I think Justin's going to give us not a full review. But
No, I'm not ready to give a review yet. I haven't spent a ton of time with it, but I can say it's impressive. And there's the debate between Oculus and Vive, and I haven't played a Vive. I can't tell you how it is. I do know I have a concern with the motion controller, but we'll talk about that at a different time. Basically, it's the technology is there. It's very impressive. It works. It works really well. When you first boot it up, it's kind of like a video kind of that you're watching, and you're like in a museum and this dinosaur charges at you, and then there's one where you're like sitting on top of a skyscraper, and that one really kind of like, I was like, what the heck? Don't put me up here. But I don't know, it was really neat. And it came with a game. It came with Lucky's Tale, which is kind of like a Mario game. And I was kind of thinking, why is this game in VR? Why am I not looking through his eyes, basically first person? But it worked. It worked really well. Like I could look ahead. I just looked ahead away from the mic, which was stupid. But I could look ahead and see what was coming, and prepare for that. And then we were the people at 505
Shout
Games.
out to 505.
505 Games. They gave us a copy of The Climb, and Crytek gave us a copy of Adrift. So I've been playing those. The Climb is gorgeous. The visuals in that game, just amazing. The gameplay, I'm either not very good at it or it's just clunky. I'm kind of afraid it's clunky.
What's the gameplay like? Is it
It's a rock climbing game.
That's
yeah.
what I was gonna say. From The Climb, I assume a first person.
First person, yeah, and it's challenging. It's actually really hard. But
Is it like Cliffhanger with Stallone?
Kind of, yeah. Wait,
Good.
is Stallone calling in? I don't. No, I'm kidding. But then Adrift. This is where things got messy.
Oh man,
Adrift is a beautiful game.
I didn't know this was a Crytek game. I
think so.
I bet you it's gorgeous.
It is, yeah. It's good, but this is the only game where I thought I was going to see my dinner again. I started to feel really sick while playing it, which is the first time it's happened, and I don't know. I started to get motion sickness, so I'm kind of taking a slight break until I get some Dramamine, some motion sickness medicine. But I'll tell you right now, it is impressive. It's hard for me to say go out and get one. The price is a little steep, and if you don't have a gaming computer capable, it's even steeper. But the future is interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where all of it goes.
Yeah, so Adrift is 505 Games and 310. They may use the Crytek engine, but
Oh, my bad.
that's who it is.
Yeah, my bad.
Shame.
Oh, this is really bad. I can't remember who made the climb then.
Yeah. So thanks for whoever sent the climb.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and we're gonna write up a full review and do all that great stuff.
Yeah, as long as Justin can manage to keep his dinner down. So
Yeah.
now, Maxwell, has your position changed on VR? I mean, I know obviously you haven't got to play with VR, but has it started to pique your interest in any way? I know that you were kind of in the same camp as me about not really caring, but didn't know if there's been anything that you've seen gameplay wise that's kind of piqued your interest at all.
Uh, Honestly, I mean, I'd like to definitely try it out just to see how it goes.
I'm willing
I'm
to
just worried
bet.
about
Oh,
being.
sorry, I was gonna say with you being in Miami, I bet you can go to a Best Buy and try it out.
Yeah.
They have them
Yeah.
in bigger cities. They don't have any at our local Best Buy, but also Microsoft Store I think is hosting, which that's weird. I think the Microsoft Store is hosting HTC Vive demos.
Oh, maybe it'll support Vive instead, which will be awesome.
Whoa.
Especially since they have the controllers and stuff.
Those controllers aren't that great, man.
You haven't even played, you don't know.
There's no face buttons. It's limited on what it can do unless you have to buy a new set later.
Well, I know that with Maxwell being in Miami, that if he goes to his local Best Buy, I'm sure that he can try on an Oculus Rift and he could be transported front row to a Pitbull concert.
Yeah.
I mean, because where else would you want to be if you could be there? Am I right?
Yeah. If you could pick one place
Yeah.
virtually to be. Now, my only concern is that oh gosh, like putting it on and then expecting to see certain things but not actually seeing it because it's not really there. Like you look down and you expect to see your body, your feet, or something like that, and you don't. Like you're gonna get kind of this disconnect.
Yeah, that's one thing that's interesting about the HTC Vive from what I've seen is that a lot of the stuff that they do is it's more like I'm trying to think how do they call it? What kind of reality is it? Augmented reality. That's what I'm trying to think of, where you can see like your surroundings, but they put things in place like in real world. And with the HTC Vive, you can actually get up and move around as opposed to the Oculus where you're sitting stationary. Now, I'm sure with the Drift, you probably still feel like you're moving. I imagine that in
Yeah.
a Drift, if you're sitting in a computer chair, you
And-
probably feel like.
Yeah, right now the Oculus is a seating or standing device, but when the touch controllers come out, it will. I don't know if it'll. I did see it's like a diagram that showed the space required. It did require less space than the Vive, but it's still a good amount to walk around in. So it looks like it will kind of meet that.
The HTC definitely piques my interest a lot more, and I imagine it as like a future way of playing laser tag.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
Could
yeah.
you imagine that?
That'd be
Like
awesome.
that would
Yeah.
just be killer, and like you could have a lot more environmental like reactions and
Yeah.
stuff.
So there's a I can't remember where it is, but they're actually coming up with a it's like a VR theme park where they actually have rooms mapped out specifically, and you have VR on and you're going through them, and you can actually use like guns like you're in actual shooter situation or things like that. So I'm anxious to see like when those things actually start dropping. It just seems like VR is really starting to take off.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like we're not nearly where we need to be, but I
No.
feel like
There's another device. I actually I spoke with the PR guy for this company. It's called the Virtuix Omni, and it's kind of like the treadmill that you strap the harness around your waist, and you run around in VR. And the videos for it, like they've already got it to work with a bunch of old games like GTA and BioShock and Skyrim, and it looks so much fun and a workout. So
that's true. And that's the one thing I was going to ask you, Justin, for the short time that you've got to play. Did you feel like there was a disconnect? I mean, obviously, I know that you probably feel like you're there at some point, but did you ever feel like you were taken out of that experience because you still had a regular controller in your hand?
no,
No?
no, it was pretty. No,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious of it.
yeah, I was kind of afraid of that. But like especially like I told you during that intro video when it puts you on top of the skyscraper and you look down, it's just kind of I was like, what the heck? Like
Yeah.
not cool, man. You know. But it's been great. No disconnect. I am excited to get the touch controllers though because they look really nice, and I hear that they just feel and work really well.
Well, I know that you're going to be gone Next is it next week?
No, it's week after next.
Week after next, and you may let me borrow them, so I might put some videos up of me
Yes.
tripping out to some Oculus Rift. So
Yeah.
I might not toss my salad. That is not.
Toss your
That's the
cookies.
wrong-
I might.
That's the one you guys were talking about last week.
Yeah.
Toss, toss your cookies.
Yeah. Oops. I'm about to say toss my cookies or laugh at my shoes. Oh man, that is not good, sir. I'm totally gonna leave that in there. I don't even care. Anyways, let's talk about. There's been a lot of news about new consoles coming out, and obviously, one of the other ones is Nintendo. You know, we've heard so long about
Yeah.
the NX, and are they going to announce it this year? Are they going to announce it next year? We don't know, but there's also news that they're planning on releasing a new handheld alongside of the NX. Now, I don't really know much about if this is going to be.
Nobody knows, man. Nintendo doesn't know.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
Yeah, is this going to be a new 3DS type device? Is this going to be something that's designed specifically to work with the NX? Is it a standalone device? We do not know.
I have
But,
no. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to guess. I'll just wait until they show me.
Yeah, I mean, I could throw an arrow at a dartboard in the dark and probably be closer to whatever it is than what they think it might be.
And then you'll toss your salad.
Yeah, exactly. In the dark, tossing it. So, but yeah. So I mean, that's not really even enough to be news, but that's just something that.
Yeah, I mean it's something to keep an eye on because I have a feeling if they do, they're gonna communicate together in some way, and then I feel like there might be a bundle that maybe the two will come packaged together. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, at this point, it's really anybody's guess as to what Nintendo's doing.
Yeah. So one thing that you told me about today, Justin, actually, that I had no idea about. So one of the games that I didn't get to play before I sold my Wii U was Mario Maker, which I hear is phenomenal.
Oh, it's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
But you said there's a Kickstarter project for something that's similar to Mario Maker. It's called Legend Maker, right?
Yeah, it's a fan take on Legend Maker. I think there used to be more Zelda themes, but I have a feeling they were probably told to stop. But basically, you go in, you make it's basically it's Mario Maker, but for making Legend of Zelda type dungeons and stuff like that. You can back it on Kickstarter right now. Just go to Kickstarter, search for Legend Maker, and there is actually a demo you can download and play right now. I didn't get a whole lot of time to mess around with it, but it looks promising, and they haven't met their goal yet. They've got like 18 days, so go on there and back this project.
Yeah, I mean, I will probably definitely back it just for the simple fact that I missed out on Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And now this is PC only, right?
No, if you look at their funding chart, they do hope to make it for PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh, well, hopefully it actually comes out, unlike Mighty Number 9. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but
It's never coming.
It does. Yeah, the graphics wise, it looks like it's right out of the Legend of Zelda from Super Nintendo. What was it? Name of that one?
Link to the Past.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It looks just like it.
Yeah.
But they just changed the character sprites so they don't look the same. But yeah, it's a very exciting looking series.
now are you able to make, I can't pull it up in front of me right now, but are you able to do like co-op type, like make a game with like co-op or anything like that?
I have no idea. I mean, there's limited details on it. I mean, I'd say it's one of those things that they'll always grow and expand upon it, but I'm not sure. I do have a feeling, well, not even a feeling, it's almost a guarantee at this point. When it comes for PC, you know that people are going to add the sprites to put the Zelda stuff back into it, so that'll be nice. That will be limited on consoles, I'm sure, but for PC, that will be pretty cool.
Well, speaking of Legends of Zelda, let's we're thinking about maybe doing a new section called Ode to Classics, where we basically just highlight a classic game and we talk about why we love it, why we hate it, if one of us doesn't like the game. But you brought up a good point, Legends of Zelda, right?
Yeah.
So let's just pick that as our classic of the week, because we didn't really talk about one.
All right, let's do that.
So I think that's all something we could probably talk about. So
Do you have one, just the first one, or a different one, or what?
I would say, I mean, I guess we can all talk about what our favorite Legend of Zelda games. We can just talk about it as a franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay, so Maxwell, what would you say your favorite Zelda game is and why?
That's a good question. I mean, the Ocarina of Time is, I think, most people's favorite. But talking about Link of the Past, it would be a tough call between those two.
Now, is that because I mean, so you would rate them probably very similar as far as how you like, right? It's really a toss-up. The word toss
Right,
keeps
yeah.
coming up.
If I had to toss the salad in one of those, it would probably be A Link to the Past.
So that
Oh,
means you like it or you don't like it. I can't
No, I
remember.
love
if,
it.
I can't
Yeah.
remember if tossing salad's a good thing or not.
It depends on where you are.
Yeah, I'll
If you're at
send
a
you
salad
the
bar,
Urban
it's okay.
Dictionary to that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Are you at Ponderosa or are you at
In prison.
the place that used to be a Ponderosa?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
He's referring to a local strip club at our place called Southern X. It actually, uh, it actually used to be a Ponderosa, and in my mind,
I did not know
I've
that.
told everybody this, that in my mind, every time I drive by it, and keep in mind, I've never been to a strip club. Every time I drive by this place, I think in my mind it's just a bunch of girls in there dancing on buffets because it used to be
Yeah,
a
with
Ponderosa.
the sneeze guard up and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of Link to the Past, I can't remember. You have a DS, right, Maxwell?
Yeah.
Do
That's
you have a
right.
3D do you have a 3DS or just a regular DS?
3DS.
Okay. Did you play Link Between Worlds?
No, I want to though.
Oh, it's so
Okay.
good.
I
Well,
bought the Spirit Tracks, played it for about 20 minutes, and thought this is the biggest load of crap.
yeah, you
'Cause you
definitely.
just tap with your stylus the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you definitely, especially if you're going to be doing any more traveling for work, you should definitely pick that game up because if you like Link to the Past, it is a follow up to that, and it is fantastic. So,
Well, good to hear. I will.
yeah. What about you, Justin? Favorite Link or favorite Zelda game?
I was kind of same boat as him with Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time. Those are the two that probably the biggest impact on the series. But I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go. So when I was a kid, I beat Ocarina of Time, and I kind of felt like my life was over because I had no more purpose or meaning. And then I discovered Link's Awakening on my Game Boy. I think it was the Game Boy. I'm not really sure which one it came out on, but that game was really good, and it kind of broke away from the others in the series, and I just put hours and hours and hours into that game, and I now own it on my 3DS. I play it sometimes, but even while it's not my favorite, it's the one I could take with me when I was a kid, whenever I had to go places with my mom and dad. So that was just a really fun game. I really enjoyed it.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like it a lot.
What about you?
I'm also going to kind of go out in left field here because I myself also kind of like you guys, like a lot of people, the obvious choice is either Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, but I'm going to go with Wind Waker. I know that game gets a lot of crap because it looks like a childish game and it's cell shaded and it was totally different than any of the Zeldas you've ever played before. But just something about being on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just sailing around looking for treasure. I mean, to me, like, it was the first one that I felt was a true. I mean, because we obviously know that Ocarina of Time was an open world Zelda, so to speak. But it was the first Zelda game I felt like was truly open world because it had a huge world in it. And just it's one of the ones that I don't know. I could just pick up and play anytime. I mean, I beat Ocarina of Time several times.
Yeah.
And Link to the Past several times, but I don't know, just playing through Wind Waker, it was just my jam, man. I loved it.
Wind Waker was one of those games that when they announced it, everyone got really pissed off because of the cell shading, and then when they played it, they kind of shut up. But I will say this: I bought the Wind Waker Wii U edition. I bought the Wii U console, everything, like the one with the markings and whatever. But I don't know. It just kind of fell flat for me. I don't know if it's because the games that came out after it, like Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, or what. But I just, I don't know. It didn't really hold up for me.
So for you, it didn't stand up to the test of time, so to
No,
speak.
I loved it when I played it. I put oh my gosh, I played that game so much, and then just I don't know. I played maybe 5 hours into the remake before I was like, what's the point?
Yeah. So well, that's all of our opinions. We're allowed to have them.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a good game. I just
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is next? Because I don't have my notes in front of me.
What happened to your notes?
It says I can't connect the internet.
Mine says that too.
Does it really?
Yeah, you must have lost your internet. Except,
Oh boy.
but Maxwell's still here.
But I'm
Max?
still here.
Do
Yeah.
you have notes?
control the internet now.
It's actually said this for a while. Anyway, it doesn't matter because next.
So
Unlimited.
now, on to the next thing. We're talking about
Pick of the week.
Whoa.
Pick of the week.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, Maxwell, I feel like you're not even gonna have a pick of the week, bro.
Nope, I ain't got one. Unless you got a Game Boy Micro, pick up a
Pick up a
Metroid
Game Boy Micro,
Fusion.
your local
yeah.
or
The
flea
battery's
market.
probably still good in it.
Yeah. Well, my pick of the week. I mean, I know it was my pick last week.
No, double dipping.
I can't double dip.
No, you can't double dip.
All
It's
right.
lazy.
Okay. Actually, no. I'll tell you exactly what my pick of the week is. I just picked up a 21. Is it 21?
no.
21:9 aspect ratio, 29-inch ultra widescreen monitor for my PC. The reason I picked it up is I've always wanted multiple monitors, but my desk isn't big enough to support multiple monitors. So I picked up this ultra screen monitor, and it is by far one of the coolest purchases I've made. The big reason I like it is you can have two applications side by side, and it makes you feel like you have two monitors. But when you're playing games, the aspect ratio allows you to have a wider field of view.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, one of the things I don't like is it seems like some older games, like Skyrim and a couple of others, do not support 21.9. So, what is your pick of the week, Justin?
Okay, my pick of the week is my favorite show, which is Lost. Except not in the way you've probably seen it. There's a website called chronologicallylost.com. This guy, he deserves a medal. He went through and re-edited the entire series to where the events take place in order. So, like when the show starts off, the plane crashes. That's where the show begins. But
Spoiler alert.
that's but the show is told through a series of flashbacks. So really, on episode 1 of Chronologically Lost, it starts off with the flashbacks and just works its way through the crash and then whatever may happen after the crash, which that actually is spoilery. So
Well, Maxwell, you didn't watch Lost, did you?
Nope, but I might do this one.
Well, would you recommend, if he's never seen it, would you recommend him watch it in the regular order?
watch the regular version first. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, if
I'll
you
never watch it then.
if you're never gonna watch it, then go ahead and watch it chronologically. You might be a little confused because, without saying too much, there
No,
may
it's
be
so confusing. No, I get it. It's fine.
you know,
But-
it ended like 6 years ago. There's some parts where they jump around time.
yeah.
So
No, there's a guy that did this with the Star Wars movies before the new one came out,
uh-huh.
and he dropped the episode 1 because you should drop it
Yeah.
always.
Probably dropped 2
and
as
then
well,
he
I
just
think.
kind of he flip flopped them around. It's called the machete like version or something.
Oh man.
And he just tells you to basically just watch them in a certain order because it follows increases Luke's story,
Uh-huh.
and it tells like it's more about him the entire time, sounds really good.
Check that out.
Yeah, that is super interesting. All right, well, Maxwell, you don't have a pick, you said, right?
Correct.
Well, I love you anyways, even though you don't have a pick.
You're my pick of the week.
No, your pick of the week could be Pitbull, Mr. 305.
In reality, as much as we've joked about it, no, never Pitbull. It's at this point, it's just funny to me, but no Pitbull ever, please.
And
Okay.
not even the new white suit that you bought?
Well, that's just because I'm staying alive.
There you go. All right, so we're up to what? We're about to close out what, episode 5?
This is episode 5. We've hit a milestone.
We have hit a milestone, and that's actually really exciting. And we've gotten some. We've actually went up quite a few followers on Facebook, right?
Yeah, and we now have an Instagram account. So
Oh, and that, you know what? Thanks to Emily for giving us that idea to have an
Yep.
Instagram account. And also, one of the things is somebody won the culling, right?
they did, yeah. I don't remember their name.
Well, they may not want you to give it
Yeah.
anyways, but
Yeah, but someone did win it, and I hope you enjoy it.
yeah, I actually just downloaded it on Steam last night, but I haven't played it yet.
It's pretty good. We plan on doing more giveaways in the future. Probably have one maybe a little closer to E3.
Yeah, maybe if we would ask you that if you guys would make sure to like our Facebook page. Also, make sure that you subscribe on iTunes or however you normally listen to podcasts.
We're on multiple different platforms, different apps. So yeah,
Yeah, and if you want to check out where all you can listen and follow us at, you can actually check out our website at nerdswithmics.com. That has basically everywhere where you can find us. The only thing we would ask, we really would like to have some more reviews on however you listen to us, whether it's iTunes or Intune Radio on Android. However you listen to us, we would appreciate some reviews.
We have 10 reviews. They're all 5 stars on iTunes. If we can make that 100 by E3, someone's gonna get a puppy.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get a puppy.
Or a diabetic cat. Sorry, Maxwell.
Puppies
Oh
are
no, That's my
puppies
cat.
are puppies are sweater puppies.
Jeez.
That's
My-
a VR.
That's a VR game. Yeah.
Oh, VR titties. I got you.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and be sure to follow us now on our Instagram, which is Nerds with Mics.
Yeah, and
Twitter, Twitch.
Yeah, Maxwell, you can be in charge. You can be in charge of our Instagram account. You can take all the pictures in Florida and make us look popular.
Yeah, do
Take
it.
pictures of a group at a beach and say, these people are at the Nerds with Mike's event today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we appreciate all the support and all the listeners and everything. Does anybody have anything else to add?
I'm good.
Maxwell, thanks again for joining us. Hopefully, this becomes, now that you're back to some sort of sense of normal, that you'll be able to join us a lot more. So,
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes.
okay. Well, have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye.